Welcome back, everybody. Max and I here. We're playing some more Shining Force. Got a couple more things I want to do here. Let's transfer on Pell. Yeah, the power ring. We want to give that to Arthur. More than anyone else, we want to give that to Arthur. Yeah, okay, no. Arthur! There he is. I mean, come on, when I already know what it is I'm intending to do, having to yell at myself to just do it is kind of embarrassing. And I don't know if there was... Yeah, I still had to equip... Oh, Vankar was equipped. I still have to... Okay, yeah. So is Pell. Pell and Vankar, they're like opposite sides of the same coin. One is better as a knight, one is better as a paladin. Or I should say, well, that's not true. One is better if you manage to level him all the way to 10, or 20 before promotion. One shines better when everyone's promoted at level 10, or something like that. Either way. Yeah, that's a lot of enemies. Pegasus Knights, as before, Lizard Men, Dark Priests, Silver Knights, General Elliot. He's interesting. Not entirely that strong, but equipped with a longsword. Artillery, I think, are more or less the brass gunners of this game. They just don't call them that. Actually, they might call them that later, I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to move too far forward. There's a lot of space here, but I want to keep everyone together if possible. Besides, these enemies will come about halfway and then stop, and so we'll have to meet them. So the first half of this battle is literally moving forward, and that's it. There's nothing else. I mean, it's just so exciting. Therefore, I'm probably not going to be entirely too talkative. Because what else is there to talk about, you know? I actually have no idea what they're doing with the way they're moving their characters. Although, you know what's really hilarious is the fact that you guys, other than the fact that you see that I get a menu pop up when, you know, I'm stopping. Yeah, it's the only difference between my movements and the movements of the enemies. So for, you know, most people who are just playing the game, you know, they know the difference because they're playing it, and the enemies are moving on their own. You know, you are in control of your own troops, the enemies are in control of their own troops. Well, you know, it's kind of funny to sit back and watch it and think, wow, it's like the computer playing itself, only, you know, the one side is obviously, well, I shouldn't say obviously, because then I'd start digging myself a hole, smarter than the others. On the other hand, the enemy doesn't make stupid things like stopping for a second, moving back somewhere else, and moving in almost complete circles at times. On the other hand, they do tend to move their units in strange... Like this, I have no idea if that's supposed to be a formation, or if it's just supposed to be a thing. I imagine it's simply a thing. Now, I'm going to keep closer to the north side of this battlefield, whereas they're keeping closer to the southern middle area. You know, kind of just at and slightly below the equator of this battlefield, whereas I'm sticking mostly north of that equator line because, well, I felt like it, and also this limits my exposure to too many enemies at once. I mean, you'll see this is actually a pretty good way of doing it because the enemies themselves, if you aren't careful, will hit you with all of them all at the same time. Admittedly, if you give them enough really strong defenders. You know, if I had brought along, instead of my mages, if I had simply brought along all of my knights, well, with the exception of, like, Arthur and Ken, all of them have really high defense. Arthur has pretty good HP. Or, I mean, Ken has pretty good HP. Arthur is, like, actually right now his stats are utter terrible crap. All the way down to the fact that he still has sub 30. Well, actually, I should say his attack is only 29, and that's with, or 26, and that's with the attack ring, or power ring, or whatever it's called. It doesn't really matter what it's called. It just has that effect. Anyways, our strongest defenders for this battle are going to wind up being, I believe, Gort and Pell. Vankar is also going to be more or less capable, especially with his higher HP totals. He takes more damage, but he can take more hits all the same. Now, because we're starting to actually close in on them, we're actually within range of a couple of those Pegasus Knights. It's just as well that we start consolidating the forces a bit and putting those defenders up front. But it'll take another turn of combat, and it's been like 6 minutes, and there hasn't been any combat yet. 6 minutes. Yeah, and do you notice? I don't know if you noticed what I did there, but I just protected Arthur, because I realized that I put Arthur where he could easily be attacked, and that's no good, because I don't want Arthur to be attacked. I want Arthur to not be attacked. And you notice there, Gort could have been attacked there, if they wanted to attack him, and yet they didn't. Look at this! I don't understand them at all. But they do open themselves up for some Blaze 2 whooping. And yeah, Gort just kind of shrugs that off and says, is that all you got? Okay, I don't know. Like this. I'm going to put her here, and I'm going to let her go ahead and freeze one that. Because she doesn't have Blaze 2 yet, because she's, like, behind everyone else in levels. Which won't be long. I mean, these enemies are things that she should have been able to, well, I don't know. Fortunately, this should take out... No, I was going to leave the Pegasus Knight with 1 HP. But it's finally some combat, you know? Interesting, the Lizard Man took 9 damage from that. I would love to have higher level spells, and, well, unfortunately, one of the best spellcasters in the game we're going to be getting after this combat, or after this battle. And I say unfortunately is because if you choose to use him to his full potential, he breaks the game for everyone. And I'm not particularly keen on that. I would prefer to stay away from those who are called utter power characters, unless their name is Arthur. And Arthur is only a 100 power character if you level him to 20 and then promote him. Which, hey, that's what I'm going to do. Unfortunately, we're only 2 battles away after this one. Well, I should say, we're a battle and a half away after this one from getting everyone to level 20. And that's because there's someone in particular that we can grind off of really easily, and he regenerates HP, and he can heal himself with aura, and although he can also beat us down really badly if he chose to. I'm not even paying attention. What's going on? Seriously, I'm like just talking and looking off in some other direction, and I can hear the combats, but this is probably a good idea, but... Okay, Gong! It only has 1 HP. You can do this. You missed. Because that's what people do when they have Pegasus Knights in front of them. And that's too bad. But did you see that? That's just ridiculous. But fortunately, Arthur can go ahead and attack this Lizard Man and get a little experience. Yay! He got a peak point of attack and 2 points of speed. The speed doesn't really matter, ever. Chris has no one in range. Chris is going to be a bit behind in comparison to everyone else in terms of where she's at and stuff. Yeah, I chose to move there instead because I wanted to protect the top portion where Max was. Because I could. Yay, Pell's... I mean, that's like his first time doing anything, and he just got, like, death experience. Or experience from killing something. Yeah, go ahead. Might as well. You know, if I'd remembered to equip him with that longsword, he might have actually been doing some damage. Dunning some damage. Yeah, I don't know which one to attack. How about the lizard man? Because I can. Alright, Gort. Oh, okay. When we come back, we'll be moving.